Dr. Vincent, good afternoon.
Happy Saturday, happy weekend, Richard. How are you?
Yeah, always good, Vincent. Well, I try to be good, so yes.
Well, thinking and wanting to be good is the first step of actually feeling good. So you're 50% there.
I am. I've been to the gym this morning, as you always know what I do on a Saturday, so got couple of workouts at the gym, so my endorphins are racing at the moment.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because a lot of people, we talk about this often, but a lot of people still reach out to me and say to me that, Dr. Vincent, I'm really, really busy. I don't know how to fit in an exercise, or I'm really busy. I don't want to get tired at the end of the day. But you know what? Just try. You don't have to spend an hour at the gym, 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, and it actually, instead of making you tired, it does energize you. And that 3 and 4 o'clock slump after lunch, you don't actually feel it, because what happens is that, like you say, the endorphin, not only that, it also helps your blood reoxygenation. It helps with your circulation. It does everything that your body and your brain need to stay active and energized.
Well, I get up at 5:30 every morning bar Saturday and head to the gym.
That is amazing. I have to say that I can't do that, because Saturday is the only day that I get to sleep in. So my alarm is set at 8:15, but I have to say that sometimes it's more 8:30 rather than 8:15.
Yes, I do a 7:30 session at one gym on Saturday morning. Big shout out to Fitness Habitat. And then I come into the city to do a strength one. So at Strength Works. So
there you go.
That starts at 9 o'clock. And it's only just over 30 minutes. Both of them are just over 30 minutes.
You know what just happened? I was actually sitting down. As soon as I heard you listing all of your exercises, I actually stood up and I felt that, oh my God, I have to actually do something. And I immediately stood up, because you know what? When you befriend someone who is active, research has proven this, that it actually can impact your life in a positive way, because your friends and the people that you surround yourself with really do affect the lifestyle, the healthy habits, because you can support each other, you can learn from each other. And like what I just said, just listening to that makes me actually want to be active today, even though it's gloomy here in Sydney.
Yeah, to me, what I do is not for everybody, people, but you've got to get out, and we've discussed this many times. To me, you've got to get out and do something, and something that you enjoy.
And you can sustain. And exercise helps with all of the things that we just said, but what it also helps, Richard, is with your skin health, especially now that the summer season arrives. It's sunny, warm. It is actually really important to pay extra attention to our skin. A lot of people think that skin health only takes priority during the colder time, because, you need to moisturize and everything. But no, actually, it is really important, because the combination of sun exposure, higher temperature, humidity, it can actually pose challenges to our skin health.
And, I've got to admit that, I'm a bit slack on doing that a lot of the time. So, people, do you put a moisturizer on? Do you put sunscreen on? And,
you have to get onto it, because our skin is our body's largest organ. It is not only for vanity, it's also for functionality, because being the largest organ, it is also the first barrier of protection for our body in terms of infection, in terms of catching diseases. If you just imagine our hands, we learned this during COVID, that a simple act of washing your hand and making sure that you don't have cracks and you don't have dehydrated skin, it dramatically increases your body's ability to fight off infection.
Exactly right. I was discussing earlier about, we've had a bit of a rise in COVID cases, and we're finding people aren't washing their hands as much. And I've noticed it on, you go in and somebody comes out and, they're not washing their hands, and you want to go, hey, why don't you wash your hands when you come out of the toilet? But it's always hard to go along and do that. But I've noticed a general downturn in that, in the last few months.
This is another proof that it's much easier to pick up bad habit than good habit. All of us were so good during COVID in terms of these hygienic steps, but now we we have gotten lazy. And thanks to the people like you who speak and make sure that people are aware. And I'm really happy that you give me a platform to actually educate people and share experience about health and well-being, because something that is as common as shielding your skin from sun, we sometimes we think that, I'm just going to be outside for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I won't worry about sunscreen, especially young people, because our skin during, our 20s and our 30s, it's still really resilient. But it can actually cause lasting damage when we don't protect and look after it. Yeah. Apply a broad spectrum sunscreen. We live in Australia, SPF 30. Some people choose higher, but I really do think that SPF 30, if you use it correctly and we apply every 2 hours, especially when you're swimming or sweating, they help. Wearing protective clothing such as wide brim hats, lightweight and long sleeve clothing, because we have to remember there is no such thing as healthy tan.
Exactly right. And what do we always say to people? Drink water, don't we?
That's correct. Drink water. A lot of times during warmer months, we forget to drink water. It is actually something that is really curious and almost biologically weird, because when we don't feel the coldness or the dryness of the air, because usually humidity is really high during warmer months, our brain forgets to tell our body to drink. It doesn't signal that thirsty feeling. And what is interesting though, it actually makes you peckish. So during warmer months, or higher humidity months, whenever you feel that you are peckish or hungry, 50% of that is actually your body needing water. So if you drink enough water, not only you're hydrating yourself, you are also helping to cut off those empty calories that your body doesn't actually need. It is just a response, a knee-jerk response almost, because your brain suddenly thinks that it needs water.
So I don't need that chocolate, do I?
Well, drink a glass of water first. After 10 minutes, if you still want that chocolate, have some chocolate, because chocolate is also packed with antioxidants. It is also good for your happy hormones. And at the end of the day, you don't want to deprive yourself of things that makes you happy. Yep. We always talk about moderation and common sense. And I think these two things, we, myself included, sometimes we lack those two things, which I really think that are very, very important.
Yeah, we do, because we deserve to, have that treat every now and again. Antioxidants.
Antioxidants really helpful. We just talk about the antioxidant chocolate, things like berries, leafy greens, citrus fruit, activated phenolics, good omega-3 and omega-6 source fruit, because they all play a vital role in protecting your skin from damage caused by free radicals, which obviously can be intensified by sun exposure. So what you eat, you really are what you eat. And before I forget, I really need to underline one thing when it comes to wearing sunscreen and everything. You need to clean your face. Yeah. Sweat, sunscreen, makeup, everything can clog your pore, and you have to choose gentle cleanser that can effectively remove all of these dirt and impurities without stripping away the skin natural oils. We're actually at the moment in the middle of a consumer survey, because as a scientist, I do believe that some of our routine, skincare routine, including washing your face, can actually age your skin, because the quote-unquote clean feeling when you wash and scrub your face, it actually strips away not only the natural oil, but also the natural microbiome in our face, in our skin. And that can actually cause premature aging and makes that fine lines and wrinkles surface prematurely, before you even, reach the age that are associated with fine lines and wrinkles.
So it's got to be a happy balance in there somewhere. I mean, that'd be a very interesting survey once it's all done, just to go along and see.
Yes, especially I grew up with cystic acne, so I always know that my skin tends to be really oily. And for the longest time, I thought that the harsher, the better, but it's not always the case. The same thing with moisturizer. We think that the thicker, the the more barrier, the better the moisturizer is in terms of moisturizing our skin. But no, the moisturizer needs to be able to be absorbed by the skin, because otherwise it will just leave a film or a layer on top of our skin, and that can actually be problematic and inflammatory to our skin health.
Okay. And, despite I'll just go back one step. I had somebody the other day go, I listen to you and Dr. Vincent, and you're always telling me to eat the right things all the time. I can't do it 7 days a week, and we understand that.
And don't do it 7 days a week. It's actually not very good for your mental well-being and social life. I do a 5-2-5-2, so I don't actually. So the day that I actually dedicate for me to, people use different terms such as cheat days or happy. I use happy days. So I do it every Tuesday because I have a team meeting, and after that we go for dinner every Tuesday and every Saturday. It doesn't mean that I'm really strict on other days other than Tuesday and Saturday, but I pay more attention and I make a concerted effort to say no to the cheesecake after dinner and maybe just eat a punch of blueberries. But when you're out with friends, food is not only something that nourishes your body, but also your mind. And it can be a really great connector. I remember growing up, as a family, we always have dinner together. And that's when you actually connect. That's when you actually share about your days. Yeah. Similar things. You don't want to catch up with someone who drinks water and eat salad all the time. Right. So, I agree with that comment. Don't do it 7 days a week. That's not healthy. No. You have to find the right balance.
You do. Now, back to sunscreen. Sunburns can occur. We all know that. We might be a bit slack when we go outside and we get stuck outside for a while. What do we do if we get sunburnt?
Always soothe and calm the skin. Don't put something that is too happy, because your skin needs to breathe and your skin needs to cool down. If you can't afford hot shower, things like aloe vera can help. Anything with high antioxidants such as Abskin with activated phenolics can help. Things that are not necessarily filled with heavy stuff, paraben, all of this sulfate, all of these additives that a lot of skincare products contain. You shouldn't use it anyway, but especially when your skin suffers from sunburn, you need to make sure that you cleanse it, but gently, and you nourish it also gently.
So from this, let's just summarize. We're telling you to look after your skin. It doesn't take much to go along and do it. Drink some water, moisturize, apply sunscreen. We're heading into summer now. Let's not prematurely age us. And that summarizes it pretty quickly, doesn't it?
That's correct. And don't forget, you are what you eat, including your skin. So maintaining healthy diet, and earlier in the show, I didn't put in a bullet point, but exercise also helps. Yep. So all of these things, your skin cannot get all of these nutrients if your circulation system is clogged up. And one of the ways to improve our circulatory system naturally is by exercising. As simple as 15 minutes walk, you can feel the difference. That actually helps your skin glow. And I think, who doesn't want their skin to glow?
Exactly right. Vincent, where can we find out more about you?
appleaday.com.au. You can go to my website. You can find out all of the good things about my research, Australian apple farmers, as well as our wonderful skincare range and vitamin range on our website. But at this time, this week, we're actually on special 50% off at Woolworths. So head to Woolworths, because when you support us, not only you're supporting your health and Australian small business, you're also supporting Australian apple farmers. So win, and win.
Which is good. And I keep remembering to, I forget to go along and do this. If you want to catch up with what we've said in the past, if you head over to richardonradio.com.au, all of your segments are up there for the last few weeks. So
that is so wonderful. I actually got a feedback and from a few people through Instagram, because thank you so much, Richard, for building that catalog and library of wonderful contents. And I listen to it, not only to my session, but to the wonderful guests that you always have, because they are very informative. So yeah, go to there.
No worries. Thanks very much. Vincent, we will talk to you next week.